All right, give me 1 second, guys. I'm just making sure everything's okay. Um, Making sure everything comes through. All right, we're good. What's going on, everybody? Have not gotten live in a little bit. Individually, I apologize for that. Was out these last 2 days. Yesterday, Frank did his recap as per usual on Sundays. So glad to finally be back. The Mets last 2 days, they fell asleep. They did not look good. They looked just awful. And there's lots of main ways as you can look at it. But that's unacceptable. It can't happen in September baseball. They just lost to the worst team in baseball in the Nationals. But all I can say is that some of the worst teams to face in September are the teams that have absolutely nothing to play for. The ones that play spoiler, they're a more relaxed team. It just happens. But you should be able to overcome that and outplay them talent wise. So there's no excuse here. They did not play well. Scherzer got injured in the first game. He's fine. He'll be back for his next start. Carlos Carrasco, they should have gave him a rehab start, I believe, instead of him going out there. I think Trevor Williams should have started the game personally. I did not like a 36-year-old man going out there without a rehab assignment who's had multiple lower body injuries in the past. So that was something that I did not like. But so hopefully that can be completely resolved. And maybe next time when he comes back out there, he'll pitch a little bit better. But there really is no excuse for it. And they got to play better. That's it. And it kind of sucks that in the same week that we're talking about this, the Mets won a series against the best team in baseball, and then they just lost a series to the worst team in baseball. So that is something that you don't really expect. But you know what? Baseball's baseball. That's literally just what happens. And that's something that I think with what Buck Showalter has said, how he does not like that easy part of the schedule of calling things an easy game, because nothing is an easy game. You still have to play the game. Anything can happen, and that's pretty much what you're looking at right now. And the Nats beat us. They beat us up bad. But today, the Pirates game was supposed to happen. We were going to have Taiwan Walker on the mound today. That did not happen. They postponed it, even though there has not been a single drop of rain that fell in Pittsburgh. Hats off to the Pittsburgh Pirates for being incompetent, because according to Mike Puma of the New York Post, the Mets starting shortstop was supposed to be Devin Marrero. Marte was going to have the day off, and Lindor was going to DH. I may have to restart this stream because I don't know if this is going through or not. But if it is, guys, let me know in the chat if there is. Make sure to answer the poll as well, of if you guys are concerned. I personally am not concerned. They just did not play well, and I think they're going to regroup. They'll be fine. But other than that, guys, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so we've got some of our injured Mets going through their rehabs right now. We have Joey Lucasy, who has been pretty much spotless in his rehab outings, which is pretty good. He's looked pretty much like himself as he was the last time that he was here last year. But as for Tyler McGill, he's looked good as well, but it looks like he's going to be rehabbing for a little bit longer. I'd say that he's back in about 2 weeks, and that's about it. Luis Guillorme, I believe he started. Luis Guillorme, I believe he started a rehab game. Was it yesterday, or does he start it today? I'm not really sure, but he should be back in a few days as well, which is something that has really been hurting this roster a lot, because the bench really has not looked good. But I think the main takeaway with the Mets bats going cold is Pete Alonso. He's not hitting. When he's not hitting, we're not all hitting. He's the main source of this offense. We've talked about this so many freaking times before. You have a lot of table setters in this lineup. And if Pete Alonso isn't the main guy of offense, you're not going to get top line offense. It's just not going to happen. And he's been struggling recently. He's been chasing the high pitches. He just doesn't look confident at the plate. And I'm really hoping that, the slump does not, transfer over into the later weeks of September. I hope he starts to figure it out against some of these lesser teams. But even though, lesser teams are lesser teams and they're the tough teams to play in September, but whatever. Can Lucasy be on the playoff roster? I don't think he can be. But I don't know. There might be something around that they can do because he's just, been injured. But I don't know. How do you think McGill will do? Out of the bullpen, I think he's an ideal reliever, to be honest. He came up as a reliever. And that I think he's gonna be able to succeed on. And that'll probably bring up the arc of, what happened with Brandon Woodruff and Corbin Burns, of guys who developed their innings in the bullpen and then were able to become frontline starters. And that's what I think can happen with Tyler McGill. Because Tyler McGill, again, he's got that type of stuff that can make him into an ace. And that's something that I think is going to happen because of an older rotation that we have. And, he's going to get a shot at the rotation once again, eventually. We don't know if Walker's going to come back. We don't know if Jake's going to come back. We don't know if Bassett's going to come back. So, it's possible that McGill will definitely get his shot at the rotation one more time. Peterson in the bullpen or rotation. I'm done talking about David Peterson. I'm going to tell you right now, I've had enough talking about this guy because everything I say about him, I just starts an argument. So to be honest, I like him as a pitcher. That's what I like him as. That's what I'll say he is. Carrasco can't be in the bullpen. Carrasco needs to be healthy. That's pretty much it. I need the guy to just put up some quality innings and a quality outing. Was it really his fault yesterday? I wouldn't say so, but he just did not look like himself. Missing the zone a lot. He's someone who knows how to throw strikes, and he was missing a lot. Williams is a reliever. Williams is a swing man. He's kind of your dare I say John Neese of the group. He's a swing man. He can spot start if you want, but yes, coming out of the pen, he's the long relief type of guy. But other than that, for those watching right now, make sure to chat up. We don't bite. We're nice people here. Just looking at that. Okay. We should have a trade for Gallon. Well, we can't really do anything now. Gallon, I think that's what you're trying to say. We can't really do much right now. Trade deadline's over. The waiver claim stuff is over. The fuck? What am I looking at right now? Okay. Got underrated pieces in our farm system that instead of the rough trade could use in a Gallon trade. I mean, yeah, I don't think they were really looking to do much in the rotation or anything. But yeah, Darren Ruff has definitely been brutal. We can talk about him for a second. Again, I think that, as someone to kill lefties, is he someone that you would like to bring in? Like, yeah, sure. But like he couldn't be the main guy. And for some reason, I don't understand why he was the best that they could get. But they're protective over the prospects, and that's something that I can understand. But you were looking for a lefty killing DH, and Mark Vientos is a lefty killing DH that you hope can be that future asset to send to a team that is rebuilding, but they want to keep him along, and uh, instead they traded pieces to get Darren Ruff, which I don't like it, but hey, whatever. Would I rather have JD Davis or Mark Vientos? I'm not a big fan of either of them, to be honest, but I'd say it's probably Mark Vientos because of just how, we just haven't seen anything of him yet, and I kind of would like to see something new. But Vientos can't be a piece to the postseason roster now because we're past September 1st. So if Vientos does come up, he probably will come up in the last week of the season just to see what they have. And then, we'll see him next year. And, Brett Beatty obviously going down. Speaking of other prospects, he obviously went down and that was something that kind of sucked, but whatever. McGill could be in the roster, I think. Yeah, he can. He was on the opening day roster, so yes, he can. He's just coming back from injury. Anybody that was on the 26-man roster at any point is eligible to be called up or to be on the postseason roster. So guys who are injured like Drew Smith right now, I do want to know something about. I don't know about Lucasy, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure it's a rule for just additions. And that's pretty much all it is. Like guys who were on your 40-man roster the entire year, I think you're fine. They can be on the postseason roster. But actually no, it's kind of weird. I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. I don't actually know how that rule works. I might have to look that up. But yeah, we'll see. I think at this point, you know what? Right now, you are thinking about the postseason, but you still have a job to finish with this division. You still have a job to finish. If they don't get the division, they're gonna get a playoff spot, unless they do a full-on disgusting collapse that is just unheard of. But currently, I mean, the last two games were not fun to watch at all. And, we just need them to pick it up. And that's all you got to see. And hopefully these reinforcements help you out. McGill will be a top. I don't think McGill is going to be a reliever for that long. Please don't be like 07 or 08. Yeah, we'll spare the details of that. But other than that, okay, for some reason, this is not working right now. So where's the Rhino? I don't know where the Rhino is. I don't think he will be joining us. But I apologize for that. But that's more of his deal than mine. But he'll definitely be on here this week. So don't worry, he'll be back. But I'm just here solo right now and soloing it. Just making sure this is right. Okay, perfect. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And we're good. So there was something that I did want to talk about. Shit, where was it? Just trying to find it real quick. Yeah, the Pirates. There is no rain. But yeah. So now the whole thing about the Scherzer injury is something that I do want to bring up here. He said that he probably could have continued, but it wasn't a good idea. And Scherzer, he expects to make his next start. He's fine. But I do think that him going down kind of made a factor into the Mets kind of just going silent there. But then you have the next game, and they just did not look good. And then you know what? It's a new day tomorrow. Hopefully that they can get it going. And I'm not gonna panic yet. Uh, and we could be a half game up. That's true. And it's gone down to as little as a half game, and we've kept our ground. And if it gets even worse than it ever has, then that's when you'll start to get the concern. But listen, it's a long season. You're gonna have shitty games like that, and it happens. That's just something that you see in a 162 game season. I understand that they lose the 50th game of the year. This is the 50th time that the season just ended. But this is what happens. You're not going to be 162 and 0. If 162 and 0 was so easy, then you'd see it a lot. But it was definitely an embarrassing thing to see. It was not good. It was bad. They need to play better than that. But I'm not here to full on panic. I just want this team to get fully healthy first, and then we can get it going and get into the playoffs, and then that's what we're looking for. So other than that, I'm not full on concerned yet, but if you are concerned, if you're ready to panic, go ahead and panic. I got nothing to judge you about, but you know, I think it's a little overblown how people are feeling with this, but it's definitely not good. It's definitely not good. They can't lose games like that. But it happens. Those things happen. So tomorrow, not a doubleheader. The doubleheader will be the next day after that. You will have Chris Bassett and Jacob deGrom. The order has not been decided yet between those two, whether it's going to be a early game or going to be the early game or the later game. I'm hoping that Jake pitches first, mainly because I just like watching Jacob deGrom pitch. I love Chris Bassett too, but it's Jacob deGrom, the best pitcher in all of baseball. It kind of sucks that he does get another day off. We can't see him, but you know what? Maybe it's just an extra day of rest for him. Blessing in disguise. And like I said, Devin Marrero was going to be our starting shortstop today. So if you ask me, it's a win. So Marte gets the off day. We don't lose any games because Devin Marrero is batting ninth for us. And yeah, to be honest, it's a much needed off day, even though it seems like they just took 2 straight days off. And that's what they're going to have to do, But if there's one manager that I know that can rally a team after a tough loss or tough 2 losses, it's Buck Showalter. So, you know what? I'm not worried as long as they don't, continue this slump. Then we're going to be talking something a little bit different. So, other than that, let me get. Why is this? Sorry, guys. I'm gonna. This thing is like really bugging out right now. The Rays claimed Jake Reed. Good for them. I'm glad they did. I'm pretty sure he was a Ray. And you know what? They can do whatever they want with him. Have fun. Oh, speaking of relievers, I think Adonis Medina's time with the Mets is over. He's kind of just, slipped out. Maybe he does come back next year, but I don't think you're going to be seeing him on the playoff roster. And that's that. It was the O's. All right. So wait, who claimed Jake Reed? Orioles. Orioles claimed Jake Reed. Okay. Well, that's like how many times has this guy been DFA'd at this point? Bryce is our reliever. Yeah. I'll talk about him in a second. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure Jake Reed has played for like 6 different teams in the last 2 years. So, you know what? It's whatever. The guy can't throw a strike. So what? Why is he here? You know? Bryce Montes de Oca, highly anticipated debut I've had for this guy since 2018 when they drafted him. I love his stuff. Obviously he still has to get the ball over the plate. That's the one thing. Um, but I love that kid. I think he's gonna be something special. He's got some special stuff, but he's gotta just, keep the control. And that's it. He's just gotta control it and get the ball over the plate. That's it. That's all he's gotta do. And I know we all know I don't like walks, but there is a certain way that they can fix his whole walk situation. And I may make an extra video about that. If he starts to struggle with the walks. And I'll go into more depth with that eventually. That will be more of a off-season video. But other than that, we're gonna have some videos out this week, probably talking about some roster situations and stuff for the playoffs. Do you think Drew Smith will be the elite reliever we saw? I don't think he ever was a relief. I don't think he has been a elite reliever at any point. Um, but I mean, he's got the stuff to be one. He's got big strikeout stuff, but he's got to limit the hard contact, and that's something that he's really been fucked with for a while. And that's what we're looking at right now. But he's got to get back. He's got to get healthy, and that's all you're really looking at. What? I mean, Jose Buo can make the roster, but I don't think he will. I doubt he will. I'll tell you that right now. I don't really think he's ready to be a major leaguer yet. So we'll see. What am I looking at right now? I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, that. Okay, trying to figure out why this is happening here. But hey, you know what? We're just gonna go with it, right? We're just gonna go with it. Cool. All right. So I don't trust Givens unless he does good in September. I think he can be fine. I just don't think, again, like with what they had to do with their bullpen and add the arms that they really needed to, because outside of Diaz, Ottavino, and sometimes maybe Lugo or whatever, they didn't have reliable arms there. And, it would have been nice to, add some more arms because you can never have enough pitching, but they're really relying on these guys to stay healthy, such as, McGill, Lucasy, and, maybe bring in David Peterson to be in the bullpen when you have your fully healthy rotation back. Um, but Givens, the main question I just asked with this is that was the guy. That was the one you had to get. Like he was it. Like he was the main guy. I'm sure he's a great pitcher and he's fine. He's good. Whatever. He's had a few tough outings. He's had some good outings. Whatever. And I think he can be fine. But it's like that's the guy that you bring in for a game changer to make you a more feared bullpen. And again, the bullpen is not it's not as bad as people are saying it is. It's just like they just don't have a lot of good options. Like they've had for a majority, they've had like a good performance from the back end, obviously, with Ottavino and Diaz. The bullpen is not terrible. it's just not, like, reliable. That's what we're seeing. Like, we're not seeing reliable pieces. I'd say that the quality is there, but the quantity isn't. They say the Mets have an easy schedule, but it looks like the Braves, um, the Braves have an easier. Well, listen, the Braves have just been on a tear. I'd say that, like, it's not even, and this is not even defending my team because I've seen the Mets do tons of terrible shit in the past 10 years. But it's not even the fact that the Mets are choking. It's the fact that both of these teams are playing, both of these teams are playing at a very high level right now. The Mets have been good. The Braves have been better. That's just how you really just seen it since, that, what is it? June or whatever, June 1st, July 1st or whatever. That's what you're seeing. I mean, the Mets have been playing good. They've still been good. They've been since that June 1st. What are they? 22 games over 500 or whatever. I forgot what it said or something, but the Braves have also just been better. That's just how we're looking. The lineup is the bigger concern at the particular point. Well, yeah, I think you can really break that down just because of the fact that Pete Alonso's not hitting and he's not been the main guy that he's been all year in this last little stretch. Again, like we said, if Pete Alonso's not hitting, no one's going to be hitting. It's just really just not going to happen. That's how this lineup is designed. If Pete Alonso isn't the main catalyst or the main contributor, this team's not going to hit that much. It really just isn't. And that's just how this lineup is built. And to be honest, we talk about, we've always had this whole thing about, the Mets being a lucky team, the Mets being getting these stupid lucky hits. Well, okay, I understand where you're getting with that. Low exit velocity, low shit like that. I understand it. But it works when your equalizer works. And that's Pete Alonso, and he's not been the equalizer. And that's what we're seeing. We're not seeing he's not hitting and we're not hitting. That's how it works. He's the main guy. And that's it. And when he's not the main guy, it's usually Lindor who's the main guy. When the two of them are going together, that's when we know that the offense is really clicking. Lindor's been fine, I'd say, these past two series with the Nationals and the Dodgers. He hasn't been like a full-on outlying best hitter in the lineup, but he's been fine. Pete's just not look good. He really just does not look good. And, we thought that the off day after the Yankees series would have worked for him, but it didn't. I don't know. Again, I'm just hoping that he snaps out of it soon, and I know he will, but it's definitely frustrating in the stretches where he's not there. Because he is a big part of this team's offense. He is the biggest part. He's the biggest part of the offense. I wouldn't say it's the whole offense because a lot of these guys are contributing, but Pete's the equalizer. Pete is the man in the cleanup position, and he's the man who's driving in runs, and he's the one who's administrating all of the offense because he's their big power threat. He's their only big power threat. Whether you want to talk about Ruff or Vogelbach or not, full-on sustained power threat is Pete Alonso. That's the only one that you have in that lineup. And that's how this lineup is built. What you really can't consider, I'm a lucky. They have been in first place. They have been in first place all year, and that's the thing. It has been working because Pete Alonso's been working all year. That's a part of it. I understand. Like, listen, we all know how much I love the numbers. That's my thing, and I understand what they mean by this. But they're kind of just doing this on purpose. Like that's the thing. Like that's kind of just been their approach. Cause like this has been their thing. Like that's their MO of grinding ABs, putting the ball in play, and putting pressure on everyone. And that's pretty much just been their approach. That's what they do. And that's kind of just what they intended on doing. I don't think there's really much of a deal of just, oh, this team is just not really that good, because it has a lot of talent on it. It's a lot of talented players from top to bottom. And all I can say is that, it's just a different type of approach, and that's it. And it's not really a modern day baseball type of thing, but it definitely can put the more modern day teams on their heels, and that's what they've been doing all year. What do you think they will give Brandon Nimmo as a contract? I think they'll get a good number. I think they'll get a good deal. The only thing is that Scott Boras is going to drag this out. He's going to have him test free agency, because that's who he's represented by. We talk about Scott Boras all the time, and usually when you sign with Boras, 99.9999999% of the time, you're testing free agency. You basically said, "Yep, I'm going to test free agency. I'm going to test the market. I'm going to see what Boras gets for me." And you can give them qualifying offers all they want. They're probably going to reject it and go to free agency, and that's every right. They have every right. Even though apparently Michael Conforto was the 100% criminal for doing that and going to free agency when every single one of his clients goes to a free agency. So, but whatever. Not here to talk about Conforto. But just getting that out there for some bitter results. But Nimmo, he's not near. He's not near. How old is Nimmo? He's 28, right? 28. Yankees got the dub today. Good for them. I'm glad they did. They need it. I'm joking. I'll tell you right now, guys. I know Mets fans and Yankee fans go back and forth with each other. I could really care less what the Yankees are doing. I'm gonna tell you right now. There's no team that pisses me off more than the Mets. So I'll say that right now. Not every client had offered a $100 million in the middle of the season. I mean, what was Juan Soto offered? A known Boras client by the Nationals. And he didn't take it. Suck on it. All right. Okay. So the thing about Nimmo is what? He's 29 years old, 28. How old is he? Now, what we did talk about before the season started, that you can use his 29. Okay. So you can use his injury history as kind of your hometown discount. This year, Nimmo's been healthy all year. Knock on wood that he continues to be. Now, this guy is a 5-win player when he's fully healthy. So, do I think that it's possible he gets a $20 to $25 million AAV? Yes, I do think that is possible. He's getting $7 million right now. It all really depends on the years and how you want to look at it. He is going to be 30 going into the season that he signs as a free agent, wherever he goes. Hopefully he stays here. But I want to keep him. I obviously want to keep him. The offer I'd probably give to him is like, I mean, I go from like probably what you're looking at, I don't know, 150 million. Maybe that's like the highest I would go with him. And then I'd probably, go 6 or 7 years. I don't know what that really adds up to. So let me figure this out. So that's about like 22 million a year. So that's kind of what I expect him to get. But we'll see. Again, Boras has always been able to stretch that number. So I think Jacob deGrom, it's going to get at least 60 million a year, but how many years? I think Jake gets like, I I wouldn't be surprised if it was 60 million, but that would be a short-term deal, obviously. But I do think he gets more close to 50 million, and he has every right to get that because he's the best pitcher in baseball when he's healthy. I think with him being I think with him being 34 years old, it comes with the point where I think 4 years is the highest it goes. But again, it's a different thing. I don't really think you can really play into the market with Jake that much because he is his own market. He's kind of like in his own level or whatever. It's a certain it's one specific circumstance. And it kind of is a little bit similar to Scherzer where yes, Scherzer's 38 years old, but he's still Max Scherzer, right? It's one of those special different types of things. So, obviously you can wait until the market is set. I think Jake, you know, I do think he'll be one of the last guys to sign in free agency, but I'm just hoping it's with the Mets. That's what I am. I'll tell you right now, it's a blank check for him. That's what I'm giving him. I'm giving him a blank check. He's not the type of guy that you can just full on replace. You can't replace Jacob deGrom. You can try, but you won't. You won't replace Jacob deGrom. You've never seen a pitcher like that before. You can't do it. It's impossible. But yeah, I am curious just to see what Judge gets in free agency. I do want to see that. Um, I do want to see that. You have a lot of frontline free agents, and it actually is it's going to be a fun one. Probably going to be the most fun since the 2019 or 2020 free agent class. The one with what was it, Strasburg and Rendon and Cole and who else was in that class? Shit. I forget. I don't know. I'll tell you what. What do you think the New York Mets getting Ohtani? I mean, I think the possibility it's there. I think it definitely is there because of the connections that Billy Epler has to him. There's been talks about it before. I wouldn't get full on invested in it yet. Any team, if they were to trade him, they're going to try and extend him. But we'll see if he does test the free agent market. I definitely think he will, but they're going to try and extend him. Just like how the Padres will try to extend Juan Soto. They probably won't because, again, he's a Boras client. He's going to test free agency 99.9% of the time, unless he really loves San Diego and thinks San Diego is the greatest city to ever live. And but all I can say is that every Boras client is going to go to free agency. As for Ohtani, we'll see what happens because, again, it's another one of those special circumstances, which, again, like I said with Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, where he's in his own class. He's in his own bubble. He's a guy who can hit and a guy who can also pitch. So it's like, we don't know what that market would be. And we'll see what happens. And I hope he does test free agency because that sweepstakes will be probably one of the greatest you'll ever see. And, the Mets being one of these top market teams now of new ownership and a guy who's very wealthy, who's willing to spend for this money, it'd be nice if the Mets can be involved in that as well. And that's something that I really am looking forward to. And hopefully that, when that time comes, I think, the team will get even better because, Shohei is quite the scene. And, he'll have a supporting cast around him that the Mets would bring in. Compared to the Angels, who, they have a few star players, some that are the best players in the league, but, a few players don't make a team. And that's the dilemma that the Angels have faced for so freaking long. At this point, Artie Moreno really should just sell that team. That's all I'm saying. Um, and there has been rumors about that, but that's a different story. Okay. Just making sure if I didn't miss any news or anything. But other than that, guys, if you are new here, leave a like on the stream. I don't see that many likes here, so guys, get the likes up. That would be nice. Greatly appreciated on the stream. Subscribe if you are new. Turn on the post notifications. We have content going out throughout the entire week. We try to do 6 days a week. Sometimes it's 5 days a week, but still figuring this stuff out. We'll have some new stuff going on throughout the playoffs, and the off season is when we'll start to get a lot of different things up here. But it's kind of a crunch time thing right now, September baseball, and we're just kind of dealing with what we're handed because it's all pretty much instant, and that's what we're looking at. But at this point, the Mets got to win, and that's all we're really talking about here. Tomorrow they got the Pirates. Taijuan Walker better do better than he did in Pittsburgh last year. That's all I got to say. And yeah, they got to get their act together again. That's all I got to. That's all I ask. Who would the Mets play? Who would the Mets play in the World Series? They play against the best team in the American League, in my opinion, is the Astros. Do I think that they can beat the Astros? Probably not. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think they match up very well with them. I think they match up well with the Dodgers. I think they match up well with the Yankees. They match up well with the Braves. They match up well. The Braves are not even an American League team. I don't even know why I brought them up. But the Astros are definitely going to be one of those teams that I don't think that the Mets have enough to beat. And I'm hoping that we don't have to face them if we make the World Series. But you know what? They're one of those teams that are going to be contending for it. They got better over the trade deadline. Those pieces have been contributing. And they're the Houston. They're one of the best teams in all of baseball. And that's about it. I think all around team, if you look at it from all around players, I think the Astros are the best team in baseball. You can't say the Dodgers. They have, all the big names and everything. But full on complete team, the Astros, I think, are the best. And they cheat. I don't think they cheat anymore. Carlos Beltran is gone, Frank, so they don't cheat anymore. That terrible person is gone and banished forever. But there you go. I'm going to be on here for a few more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to probably hop off. We'll probably have a video out tomorrow or the next day after that. I'm not really sure when that comes out. Still kind of trying to figure everything out. And then, of course, we have our weekly stream on Thursday. Let's see. Anything else I want to say? Links are in the description for everybody. Go check them out and everything. Just wanted to hop on here, take advantage of this rain out. That wasn't even a rain out. Pittsburgh didn't even rain at all. But like I said earlier on this stream, I'm happy that Devin Marrero was not starting shortstop for us today. And I'm glad that they got the day off. So hats off to the Pittsburgh Pirates for being incompetent. And that's all I really got to say about them. And hopefully we can kick their ass tomorrow because they really need. It would be nice to have an offensive explosion tomorrow of at least give me 7 runs, man. Give me a 7-run game. I know that's crazy. It's impossible to score 7 runs, but go nuts. Give me 7 runs. Come on. That's all I got to ask. It's the Pirates, all right? They're not that good of a team, but like I said, September spoilers are real. Those guys are fighting for roster spots, all right? Those guys are more relaxed. They're the worst teams. They're the worst teams to face in September. Are teams that have nothing to play for. I can tell you right now. So I'm not going to say it's going to be a full-on breeze. On paper, it looks like a breeze. But it's not just going to be, it's not just going to be, okay, let's full-on blow these guys out without even trying. You still need to win. And you still need to compete. No matter how bad the teams are, That's just how it is. Any team can beat any team. We've seen the worst teams in baseball beat the best teams in baseball this year. We've seen them happen multiple years before. Anything can happen in a 162 game season. So I'm not full on declaring victory for all of these games. They still got to play them. And that's the reason why. You still got to play the games. And, everybody loves to make their predictions and make their this and that of this is going to happen and, this is not going to happen and everything. But at the end of the day, you still got to play the games because anything can happen. And that's literally how baseball works. But yeah, other than that, unless there is any other questions that anybody has, I'm probably going to hop off here, cut it off short. More throughout the week. I might go live one more time, maybe towards the end of the week, maybe Friday. I don't know. Just trying to figure everything out as of right now. Again, we'll have more sorted out during the playoffs. Let us know as well if you guys want to be doing kind of watch parties during the playoff games. We kind of try to avoid doing those because it just gets a little bit hectic. And there's a lot of in and out and a lot of craziness. But as for the playoffs, it's a different scenario. It's a very rare occasion. As for now, it's a very rare occasion for Mets fans to see their team in the playoffs. So let's if you guys want to do something like that, let us know. If you guys want to see us do some watch along things or stuff like that during the postseason, because it's an exciting time. We're rooting for the team, and this is the final stretch of the season, and this is big, meaningful baseball. This is the first time in quite a few years that the Mets are playing meaningful baseball in September. So definitely something that is exciting to watch. But pushing through it, last stretch of the season, and that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna hop off here, guys. Sorry to cut it short here, but you know what? As of right now, there's not really much to say because there isn't a game today, but all I can say from the last two games, they got to play better than that. They got to be better than that. And, we're going to be starting to talk about some different things if they don't play better than that, especially against teams like Pittsburgh and the teams like the Cubs and other teams that are not competitive and should be teams that they be able to beat. But other than that, guys, EmpireSportsMedia.com for all of your New York sports needs. Thank you guys for everybody that joined us, everybody watching on the playback, everybody coming in here and in and out, subscribed and have those notifications on. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support that we've had recently and all the support that we've had since joining ESM. This has been great. This isn't possible without you guys. So thank you guys so much as we continue to grow and continue to pump out content for you guys day by day. And we'll see you guys next time. LFGM, we got to play better. As the one Mets Weekly member himself, Frank About Sports, says, don't suck. That's all I ask. Don't suck. LFGM. We'll see you guys next time.